All right, welcome everyone. We are live. Amanda Hines here, and I'm really excited because today this is the very first, it is the absolute first YouTube live that we have done for our channel. So if you are here live with us, go ahead and type hashtag live. Let me know that you are watching live. Go ahead and share this if you are a member of our Honest Investors community. If you could share the link to this inside of our community, because I know there's a few people that were having some difficulties being able to find us. If you could share the link to this inside of the group, the exact YouTube link that you used, please go ahead and share it so that other people are able to find this, right? I'm excited, right? This is gonna be fun. So, in true YouTube fashion, because guys, for those that don't know me, I've been going live on Facebook for 2 to almost 3 years now. So this is not new to me, right? Going live is not new to me. I'm just going live now so that more people can get to know me, get to know our brand, and also be able to build their wholesaling businesses from a strategic standpoint. So, hey, Honest Investors, welcome to the Honest Investors channel where we talk about building businesses for real estate wholesalers and real estate investors that want to build ethical, profitable businesses that allow them to make more, give more, and serve the world. So, again, if this is the first time that you are meeting me, say hello. If you're watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. Just to give you guys a little bit of clarity about who I am actually a multiple six-figure business consultant. I'm an active real estate entrepreneur, and I'm a believer, right? So, God first, that's who I am. Does that mean that is what you need to be? Not necessarily, right? I let you believe what you believe. I am not here to try to control you. And I also don't believe there's only one way to live your life, okay? And in today's video specifically, we're going to be talking about the most practical way, right? Practical, not the fastest way, not the sexiest way, the most practical way to building your real estate wholesaling business, especially if you're newer to wholesaling, you haven't closed any deals yet, but you want to build something powerful. If that sounds like you, give me a hashtag powerful in the comments. Now, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and comment below. If you're watching live, the live block is there for you to go ahead and comment. I love engagement. I love interaction. It helps me to know that you guys are following along. And at any time that you have questions, go ahead and ask your questions in the comments as well. Okay? So, how can you build a wholesaling business that is powerful, ethical, and profitable? Well, there's a few things. I'm going to talk about 3 things today that you absolutely must understand if you're going to build this from a practical standpoint. And the first thing that you really need to understand is that you are in the startup phase of a business. Okay? Being in the startup phase of your business means that there are very specific things that you need to focus on early on. You cannot do the same things that people that are in the growth or scaling phases of their business are doing. If you're still working on your first deal, what you're doing is going to be wildly different than someone who is working on their 100th deal. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you. And so, as someone in the startup phase of your business, there are essentially 3 things that I want you guys to really think about. Okay? Also, in the comments, let me know how many deals have you closed. If you're still working on your first deal, put first deal in the comments. Let me know. How many deals have you closed? If you've closed multiple, if you're working on your 100th deal, let me know. Okay? So as someone in the startup phase of their wholesaling business, the first thing you need is something that can sustain you and ensure that you can pay your bills in the interim. Because if you are building a business, you have to understand that businesses do not pay you just because you show up. Right? A business will not pay you just because you showed up. Congratulations, Douglas. Douglas Cooper is closing his first deal tomorrow. Let's say congratulations in the comments. That's amazing. So excited for you. So you need something that can sustain you and ensure that you can pay your bills. Now let's talk about what that actually looks like, because it's going to look like something different depending on who you are, what your situation is. Okay? It's a full-time job. So if you have a full-time job and you're like, should I quit my job? I want to get started with wholesaling. I love my job, but I want to also be successful in real estate. Maybe not. Okay? Maybe not. Quitting your job to start a business actually doesn't make a lot of sense at all. Okay? And I'm going to talk to you about the things that everybody else won't say, right? I'm going to give it to you straight because I want you to be successful. And I don't want you to struggle on your way to success. All right? So it might be a full-time job. So if you got a full-time job and the job is something that you can continue to do, continue on with it. It could be a side hustle, right? You guys, we all know what a side hustle or a side gig looks like. The Ubers, the Lyfts, right? The Instacarts, the side gigs, the freelance work. So if you have specialized knowledge and expertise, it might mean that you're doing freelance work and you're helping companies and entrepreneurs on a freelance basis. That's totally okay. It might mean that you have a full-time business. I started real estate wholesaling with a full-time business that I still have. Okay. And I have closed multiple deals and I'm going to continually keep my full-time business. I didn't get started with wholesaling because I hated my business. And so I also want you to realize that you don't have to completely disregard everything else you're doing in your life now that you're doing wholesaling. Okay? That is what most people will teach you to do, or most people will recommend you to do, or say that you're not a real entrepreneur if you don't just basically burn all your bridges. You don't have to do that. If that is something you want to do, that is for you to decide, but you don't have to do it that way. Okay? And then, of course, there's money in reserves. So a lot of times people will start a business and they will quit their primary thing because they've saved up enough to pay their bills, to take care of their obligations, allowing them to invest in whatever support they need in order to work on their business. And so they have money in reserves. So if you have enough to pay your bills for 6 months, a year, you've been saving for a long time, that also would qualify you to have something to sustain you as you're building your business. All right. Now, I'm going to come back to talking about something that sustains you because there's more to talk about. And also, this is live, guys. So remember, this is live. Comment, engage, ask questions. I might be able to answer some of your questions here live. If not, put them in the comments if you're watching the replay, because it will allow me to also have content for additional things. I will know what you guys want me to talk about. If you guys have any topics that you want me to talk about, go ahead and text it. My number is 610-588-6618. 610-588-6618. Text me. Okay? Text me. If you also want to get on my buyers list, go ahead and text that number. I will put it inside of the description for you guys if you're watching the replay, or if you're watching live and you didn't get it. Again, one more time, 610-588-6618. All right. Let's see. Do we want to pull out our phone number? Let's go ahead and do that. For those of you that need our phone number, I'll leave it up for a minute. Okay. So we talked about you need something to sustain you and ensure that you can pay your bills. And also, as you're texting me, please tell me who you are. Right? Don't just be like, hey, Amanda, because I'm gonna be like, hey, I don't know who you are. Right? So let me know who you are. That is that's the Honest Investors line, hotline. So go ahead and text that number. Okay? The next thing is that you need to understand how the wholesaling strategy itself actually works. Okay? You need to understand that, because if you are going to be wholesaling houses, you need to understand how the strategy works. It's the same thing for every other real estate investing strategy. If you're going to be flipping houses, you need to understand how flipping houses works. Okay? If you're going to be doing Airbnb, you need to understand how Airbnb works. All of that actually matters. Understand the strategy that you're implementing. Really, really important. Understand how the strategy works, and then understand how you get paid. And if there are multiple ways for you to get paid, understand what those ways are as well. All right. And then number 3 is that you need a simple and clear marketing and sales plan that allows you to generate leads, nurture those leads, and then make offers that convert into deals and sales. All right. So let's move back into point number 1. You need something that sustains you and pays the bills, right? So we talked about anything from a work from home gig to a full-blown career or a business, because wholesaling is a business. And I don't know why most people don't talk about it like this, but wholesaling is a business. Okay? And wholesaling is a business. And I don't believe that it takes money to make money. I know a lot of people believe that. I created my first 6,000 online without having any money, right? I literally created it out of thin air, right? And I'm not saying that to be funny, right? I'm saying that it doesn't really take money to make money. It takes resourcefulness to make money. So one of the questions that I ask quite frequently is, what is in your hand? What skills do you have? What knowledge do you have? What expertise do you have? Leverage that to make money. Are you great with people? Do you love talking to people? Are you a great connector of people? If you're great at connecting with people, you should actually do very well with wholesaling. Okay? So think about what is in your hand, not necessarily money. If you got money, leverage it, because money is a tool. That is it. It's a tool. So it doesn't take money to make money. It takes resourcefulness. Think about what is in your hand. But what does it take money to do? What do you need money for? You need it to pay your bills. Okay? You cannot call your light company or your water company and barter services. You can't do that. Right? They're gonna be like, no, it's not gonna work today. Okay? So make sure you have money to take care of yourself. Also, you don't want to build from a place of desperation where you just have to make that sale. Like, if you don't make that sale, everything comes crumbling down. Like, nobody wants that level of pressure. It's just not worth it. Okay? It's just not worth it. If you can help it, don't operate from that place. Keep your side gig, your full-time career, your whatever you want to do, or transition. So maybe you have a full-time career and it's just way too demanding, and you have a little bit saved up, and so you want to transition into having some saved up and also reserves that you can pay your bills and have a side hustle, right? Make it work for you. Now, we don't want to build from a place of desperation because it comes through in our conversations, not just with sellers, because it will come through. And if they're desperate and you're desperate, that's right. Like, that's a really weird situation. But you don't want to come from a place of desperation. It will also come through when you're negotiating with buyers. And if the buyer is like, no, I'm not going to pay what I should be paying, but you're so desperate, you're going to lower your price just to appeal to that buyer, just because you feel like they're going to pay you something. And then they're going to feed off of that energy. And then they're just going to keep lowballing you until eventually you get to a point where you're like, I shouldn't even have done that. Right? So you don't want to build from a place of desperation. In fact, it comes through in everything that you do. And so people will exploit it and take advantage of you, or they'll feel disconnected from you. So it might be that maybe you're not even getting to the point of negotiations, but people feel disconnected from you. They're like, I don't know what it is, but I just don't feel right about this. I don't feel connected to you. I feel like, you know, there's just this energy, there's this vibe that doesn't really resonate. Okay. Another reason why I really want you guys to think about having something that sustains you is because wholesaling is real work. There is this myth out there surfing the internet, right? That wholesaling is quick money. Wholesaling is not quick money. Okay. Now, you could get a lucky break and be able to get a few deals and it be very quick. But for the most part, it is not quick money, right? It took me 9 months to get my first deal done, right? Exactly the amount of time it takes to birth a darn baby. Okay. And I got 2 kids. So I know, right? So wholesaling is real work. And it's important for you to know that it's real work, because if you know that, then you will allow yourself to treat it that way, and also understand that you're going to have to learn how to do real skills like marketing. That's a real skill. Sales, operations, administrative, fulfillment. These are all real skills that you're going to need to pick up on in order to be successful as a founder. And you have to realize that you are starting something, right? You are starting something. Now, number 2, and if you're still here with us live, give me a number 2, hashtag number 2 in the comments. Let me know you're still here with us. Let me know you guys are still here with us. Is that you need to understand the wholesaling strategy itself, right? How it works and how you get paid. So the wholesaling strategy in a nutshell, it's about connected with motivated buyers, right? So securing your funding, and that's connecting with truly motivated buyers. It's going to be connecting with truly motivated sellers, right? And that's what a lot of people are doing when they're going to PropStream and REI Pro and REI Rail and all the softwares. Their goal is to really, and I would also say cold calling, text message marketing, all of those different tactics. Their goal is to be able to connect with motivated sellers. And then it's going to be to determine if that person is motivated enough to assign their interest or allow you to assign your interest in the property to an end buyer. From there, you're going to negotiate the deal, make sure everything works, make sure that you take that deal to the title, right? Take the property to the title. And if you guys want the full breakdown of the entire wholesaling process, you need to sign up for the Secure Cash Buyer Bootcamp. Okay. I will link that somewhere around this video, but the Secure Cash Buyer Bootcamp is the #1 thing that I recommend you sign up for if you don't understand the wholesaling strategy itself, how it works, and how you get paid. Okay? Make sure you sign up for the Secure Cash Buyer Bootcamp. So, you need to understand how the wholesaling strategy itself works, because it's the strategy you're implementing, right? And I feel like that is a very common sense thing to say. But what I have found is a lot of times people will be like, oh, yeah, I'm wholesaling houses. And then I'm like, okay, well, which part of the process are you on? Well, I don't know, right? And I don't know if it's that people just don't know where to find the information about what wholesaling actually is. But there are specific steps that you need to take and in a specific order in order to be successful with wholesaling. Okay. Every single deal that I've closed and every deal that I will close from now until forever will follow the exact same steps. Okay. It's really important for you to understand the strategy itself. And then, of course, you need to have a clear and simple marketing and sales plan. If you're still here with me live, give me a hashtag number 3. Give me a hashtag number 3 if you're still watching live. Right? And Waukesha says it takes a while sometimes. It does. Right? It can take a while. And you should be okay with that. And that's why you don't want to build from a place of desperation. So when we're talking about you having a clear and simple marketing and sales plan, that's essentially saying that you have a way of generating opportunities to you on a consistent basis. So if you're brand new to wholesaling, right, this is essentially what you should be doing. The first thing is that, okay, you're managing your time and you're blocking out time that you're going to be working on your business, because you have your first investor, which is your business, outside of wholesaling. So if you're like me and you have another business, it's either that or it's your job, right? So give your first investor the respect they deserve. Make sure that that first investor is getting the return on their investment in you. Okay? Your job can be your first investor. That's totally okay. Okay? Next thing is that you're going to need to block out time and ensure that you know when you're going to be working on your business, right? Your wholesaling business. So if you go to work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., whatever time zone you're on, the next thing is that you need to understand, okay, what time of the day am I going to be working on my wholesaling business? Okay, block it out. That means that you might not be watching movies and hanging out and doing Netflix and chill for a while. Right? That's realistic. We're talking about being practical. All right. So once you have blocked out that time for your business, the next thing is that you're like, okay, I need to understand the wholesaling strategy. Now, this could take a few days, it could take you a week, but you shouldn't spend too much time trying to figure out the wholesaling strategy itself. Okay? So if you are on YouTube University, right? And I know we're on YouTube, but if you're on YouTube University and you've been stuck just trying to understand the wholesaling strategy, you really are probably procrastinating at this point. And I'm going to give it to you straight, right? You're procrastinating if you're spending all of your time, energy, and focus on just trying to understand the wholesaling strategy. If you genuinely do not understand it, reach out, right? Comment below this video. Let us know what questions you have. What is tripping you up about wholesaling? Okay, what do you not understand? If you do not have the actual wholesaling steps in order, sign up for the Secure Cash Buyer Bootcamp, but also sign up for the Honest Investors Lounge. Both are free resources available to you. Okay, the lounge has the actual steps in the correct order. All right, so we could get that sorted out in a day or two, a week at most. Okay, and then from there, you want to start implementing those steps. So the very first step is securing your funding. Because in every real estate transaction, the first thing you need to make sure is that you got your money for your deal. Wholesaling included, okay? If you look at any real estate strategy, the first thing is that you have to secure the funding, okay? And so when a lot of people are telling you, oh, just focus on motivated sellers, the buyers will come. Actually, no, right? In fact, I have a deal under contract right now, right, where it's priced perfectly. We have pictures, we have everything, but it's in a less than desirable location. Okay, it's not a hot spot where buyers actually want deals in that location. So what does that mean? That means that the seller is either going to have to change their strategy for selling, because if they want a cash offer, it's going to be a lot lower. But if they're willing to take a conventional loan on the property, then they could likely list with a realtor or do a lease option or something like that, right? So do not believe the myth that if I have a deal, a buyer will come. No, if you have a deal in a desirable location, the buyer will show up. But you won't know which deals are desirable locations if you haven't done the research and secured your buyers. Okay, so do you see where that comes in? I hope that makes a lot of sense. And so you secure your buyers, and again, sign up for the Secure Cash Buyer Bootcamp because we go into incredible detail. It's a 5-day live experience that we run. The next one is going to be in January if you're watching this live. If you're watching the replay, just go in the actual notes of this video and it will tell you when the next one is. Okay? Yes, so buyers first, then sellers. After that, you have secured your buyers, and I mean like 5 or 6, not 100, okay? Because if you focus your time and attention on anything for too long, it can become a distraction from the thing that will actually move your business forward. All right? So buyers, we have 5 to 10. Next is we're going to focus on motivated sellers. So how are you marketing to attract sellers to you? With sellers, there's essentially 3 phases. The first is attraction and attention, right? Attraction and attention. So what are you doing so that sellers are coming to you? How are sellers coming to you? What are you doing? Are you doing Facebook advertising, which is one of our favorite methods, and we'll talk a lot about that on this channel? Not the only way, but it is one of our favorite. Are you doing direct mail? Are you cold calling? What are you doing to get sellers to come to you? And I will tell you this right now. If you're cold calling, sellers are not coming to you. You're hunting for them. So what is your attraction method? How are you going to attract sellers to you? Another way I will put it, just depending on your specific way of getting into wholesaling, is how are you attracting opportunities to get the contract, right? Because there are other ways for you to get the contract. What you want is the contract. What you don't necessarily want the seller, you want the contract. So how else can you get the contract that then allows you to then do your disposition and close the deal? Okay, so figure out what is your contract plan, the plan to get the contract. Okay, the next thing, so if you're attracting sellers, you have to first get their attention. How are you going to do that? Are you going to do handstands in their driveway? Right? Are you going to call them? Are you going to email them? You got to be able to get their attention. The next thing is that once you have their attention, you have to pre-qualify them. You have to know whether or not your sellers are actually motivated, because there's this, again, and we'll talk about all of these over the course of the channel. This is the first video. I have so much to talk about, right? But we will get to it. You have to understand that not every seller who has a problem is motivated. That's, for some of you, that just completely blew your mind, right? It's not that every seller with a problem is motivated. A problem is something like being in pre-foreclosure or going through a bankruptcy or going through a divorce. Those are problems. But does that mean that person is then motivated to sell their house? Not necessarily. It is your job to engage and nurture the relationship so that your sellers trust you enough to divulge that information. And so if right now you've been marketing to motivated sellers and they're just not wanting to talk to you, they're ghosting you, they're not giving you any attention, they don't want to hear what you have to say, they really don't care, and they don't believe you care, it's because you have not attracted them, you have not given them a reason to pay you attention, and then opened up the opportunity to engage and nurture that relationship. Okay? And then the third part is to convert. So we attract, we engage and nurture, and then we convert. Now, with your sellers, you're converting them from interested or motivated to sell their property to signing the purchase and sale agreement with you. Okay? So that's the phases that you're going through when you're dealing with motivated sellers. And so in the conversion phase, that is where you're negotiating your offer price, right? So what is your offer price? And then also, what is the actual offer that you have for your motivated seller? Because you're not the end buyer. So you should not be saying, well, I'm an investor that's, going to be buying your property, because that's being dishonest. And if you have to do that, then it's just not even worth it, right? Not for me, at least. And not for 99% of the people that are in the honest investors community, right? You shouldn't have to lie about what you're doing at all. You need to be able to explain and articulate the value of what you are doing for your motivated seller. Okay? What is it that you are bringing to the table that they can't do on their own, or they just don't want to do on their own? That is your pitch. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know that you want to sell your property. It's been listed on Zillow for 150 days. You've received several offers and they've all backed out, and you don't know exactly why it's not selling. So here's what I can do for you. Your pitch is, so here's what I can do for you. And you should be outlining literally everything you can do for that seller. Okay? Outline, tell them, help them to, and we will talk more about converting. We will talk more about converting motivated sellers into contracts, right? That's really important. So once you have the contract, the next phase is going to be to start marketing the property, right? Market the property, get it in front of those buyers that you reached out to. And then hopefully it's still a good time for them. It's, their criteria hasn't changed a whole lot, and you can close your deal. Or if those buyers aren't the right buyers, you're going to continually market that property, but because it's in a desirable area, a hot spot, everybody wants properties in those areas, right? Then it shouldn't take you too long to assign your interest and get paid. Okay? So this is the most practical step-by-step way for you to build your wholesaling business. And I'll just give you a very quick recap. Step 1 is to make sure that you have something that can sustain you. You can pay your bills. You can pay your obligations. Working is not bad. You want to work on things you actually care about, right? Step 2 is to make sure you understand the wholesaling strategy itself. How does it work? How do you get paid? How does it help motivated sellers? How do You help motivated buyers. What do they actually want out of the deal? How do you price your properties? How do you talk about your offers? How do you pitch a seller? How do you sell? Right? These are all the things that you actually have to understand. And then step number 3 is that you need a clear and market, I would say a clear and simple, because if it's too complicated, then it's not sustainable either. You want a clear and simple marketing and sales plan. Marketing and sales, when you're just getting started, you're probably spending about 20% of your time marketing, 80% of your time selling. Okay? 20% of the time is marketing, generating leads, getting in front of people that could get you seller opportunities, putting out something out there that would attract sellers to you. That's marketing. Sales, making an offer, right? So calculating the offer, making the offer, presenting the offer, pitching the offer, getting the contract signed, following up with your seller, ensuring that they sign the agreement, that they understand what's going on, that you actually now have to sell your property. I also include that in that 80%, right? So fulfilling your promise that you're going to be able to get that property assigned, that is what you should be spending 80% of your time on. If you have no motivated seller opportunities right now, you should be spending more of your time marketing. Okay? In fact, if you have no motivated seller leads right now, 100% of your time is going to be focused on marketing because there's no one to sell to. So you have to understand how to market your business. Okay? If you want, you could even continually search how to market my business, because that's what you have here is a business and you need to learn how to market it. All right. So this is the most practical way to start your wholesaling business. And I hope this has been helpful to you guys. If you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so that you can get notified whenever we are going live. We have our next live training next week. Okay. The time will be on our channel as well. But I hope you guys are absolutely getting value from this. If there's any questions that you have that I did not answer today, post that below this video. I read every single question that you have. All right. And then as a reminder, if you want to join our text messaging list, you can go ahead and text me at 610-588-6618. Again, 610-588-6618. This is my actual line for you to get in contact with me. So please make sure that you text me with your name so I know who you are, right? And we can chat it up in text messaging. All right, guys. So have a great rest of your day. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we have Nathan that says lots of value, excited. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And as always, guys, continually do the work to having the life that you've seen forever, right? Keep doing that work because you're meant for more. And that's why you're here. You're meant to serve. You're meant to help people. And that is what you can do by building a strong real estate business. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and I will see you guys in the next video.